Good evening. The hour of 7 p.m. having arrived, I will call to order this regular meeting of the Keene City Council. This meeting is being broadcast live on the City of Keene YouTube channel and Spectrum Channel 1302. The video is also streamed on the city's website and is posted by the end of the next business day, barring any technical difficulties. If you would like to receive an electronic City Council packet to reference while viewing future broadcasts, please contact the City Clerk's office during business hours and go to the city's website and subscribe to the city meetings email list. The agenda is also accessible from any mobile device. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Randy L. Filio.
Here.
Michelle A. Chalice.
Here.
Catherine I. Workman.
Here.
Ryan J. Lake.
Here.
Jacob R. Favalise.
Here.
Laura E. Tobin.
Here.
Robert C. Williams.
Here.
Philip M. Jones.
Present.
Chris E. Roberts.
Here.
Bettina A. Chadbourne.
Here.
Edward J. Haas.
Here.
Laura E. Ruddle Miller.
Here.
Molly V. Ellis.
Here.
Thomas F. Powers.
Here.
Mitchell H. Greenwald.
Here.
All present. Councilor Chalice, would you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. I'd like to recognize Councilor Greenwald for a motion to adopt the minutes of our previous meeting.
Thank you, Your Honor. I move to accept the minutes of the February 5, 2026 meeting as presented.
Second.
Seconded by Councilor Powers. I'd like to see if there are any comments, questions. Councilor Ellis.
There's also a typo this month in Megan Fortson's name. A lot of the time it says Forston. I noticed it like almost throughout. I forget which line it started. I wrote it down and then I forgot to bring my notes. Sorry, that was my one.
Yes.
Was that in the city council minutes or one of the standing committee minutes? It may well have been.
Was, I believe, in our minutes, our city council minutes.
Okay, we'll look for that and make sure it's corrected. Thank you.
Okay. I think that's what we call Scribner.
It sure is.
Correction. Seeing no other comments, all those in favor of accepting the minutes as presented? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Tonight, we have no proclamations, no, I'm jumping ahead of myself. So for announcements, coming in March, it is Women's History Month. I will be searching for the kind of programming that folks are doing, the Human Rights Committee and the library, et cetera. And hopefully we are honoring that as well as our care workers. So that's an opportunity for us to bring together our care workers within our community, some representatives, and say thanks for all that they do. Other significant dates that we'll be recognizing in March, St. Patrick's Day, Ramadan, it continues into March, and there we go. We've got City Council special meetings that are coming up in this next month that hopefully you'll note in your calendars. The workshop relating to capital improvements plan for 2027 through 2033, that will be held in Heberton Hall on Tuesday, March 3rd, beginning at 5:30. So please arrive at 5 as a meal will be served prior to the start of that meeting. Then there's a special meeting of the Finance, Organization, and Personnel Committee scheduled for March 10th at 5:30 to continue the review of the proposed capital improvement plan. And also there is a regular Finance, Operations, and Personnel Committee meeting on March 12th that will start early to allow for the CIP review. For both of those meetings, on March 10th and March 12th, there will be meals served prior to those meetings because of the early starts. So do note that. And again, there are no proclamations or presentations tonight, no hearings that are scheduled for this evening. So we move then to our nominations and confirmations, and I'd like to recognize the clerk to
Sure.
read those.
Thank you. So we have confirmations this evening to the Assessors Board and the Human Rights Committee, and they include the appointment of Christine Houston to serve as a regular voting member on the Assessors Board for a term to expire December 31, 2028, and the confirmation of Thomas M. White to serve on the Human Rights Committee as an alternate member for a term to expire December 31, 2028.
And recognize Counselor Greenwald for a motion.
Thank you, Your Honor. Move to confirm the nominations. Second.
Seconded by Counselor Powers. Any questions on the two nominees? Seeing none, I'd like to ask for a roll call.
Counselor Filio.
Yes.
Counselor Chalice.
Yes.
Counselor Workman.
Yes.
Counselor Lake.
Yes.
Counselor Favelis.
Yes.
Counselor Tobin.
Yes.
Counselor Williams.
Yes.
Counselor Jones.
Yes.
Counselor Roberts.
Yes.
Counselor Chadbourne.
Yes.
Counselor Haas.
Yes.
Counselor Ruddle Miller.
Yes.
Counselor Ellis.
Yes.
Counselor Powers.
Yes.
Counselor Greenwald.
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously. We move to communications, of which we have 3 this evening.
And our first communication is from Katie Woodard. She is operates the Farmers Market of Keene, and this is their annual request for a license to use city property.
And we'll refer that letter to the Planning Licenses and Development Committee for their consideration.
And our next communication is from Counselor Favelis, and this is a request for a presentation outlining the role of contractors and consultants in city projects.
And we'll refer this to Municipal Services, Facilities, and Infrastructure Committee, and I'd like to ask if there's no objection that we schedule that for the March meeting to allow time for departments to contribute their presentations, put that together. Okay? Good. So that is referred.
Good. Then our final communication is from Carolyn Ogren. Ms. Ogren is requesting a review of warehouse zoning as it relates to the potential housing of detained individuals.
So I'm going to refer this to the Planning Licenses and Development Committee, unless any counselor wishes to raise an objection to that and suggests that this be filed as informational. Your objection might be based on a belief that the federal government has a supremacy right and that this should be filed as informational. On the other hand, you may believe that a discussion with PLD that is limited to questions related to the city's zoning ordinances, that it may be appropriate, and that the PLD chair, keeping that discussion focused on Keene and not drifting into federal, state, and local government issues related to other communities over which the city has no authority, that we can execute in that manner, in which case you agree with referring this letter to PLD. Councilor Filio.
Thank you. Yeah, I agree with sending it to PLD. I think it's too important just to accept it as informational, and we will keep things in check.
Councilor Haas.
Thank you, Your Honor. I agree with Senator PLD as well. More on the basis of any time we look at our zoning codes and what's allowed and what's not allowed, it's educational for everybody. So certainly supremacy clause rules here, and we're not going to get into that. And I trust our honored chair will manage that discussion well. But it's always good to look at our code and understand what's allowed and what's not. Thank you.
Okay, the letter is referred then to PLD. We can move on to council committees and ask the clerk to lead us through this.
So our first report is out of the Planning, Licenses, and Development Committee, and it relates to the Energy and Climate Committee recommendations regarding the CPACER program. And on a vote of 5-0, the Planning, Licenses, and Development Committee recommends the city manager be directed to submit an ordinance for first reading relating to establishing a commercial property assessed clean energy and resiliency district.
Counselor Filio for a motion.
Move to carry out the intent of the committee report.
Second.
Is seconded by Counselor Jones, yes?
As the city clerk just mentioned, the Energy and Climate Committee shared a presentation with us on the CPACE program. It's a resiliency program which was recently adopted under New Hampshire law, and we know how New Hampshire law can be, and basically allowing for private capital for development and energy improvements. It was a 5-0 out of the PLD committee to send to the city manager for possible first reading of an ordinance, and we hope you'll vote also. Thank you.
Okay. Seeing no questions on this item, all those in favor of accepting the committee report? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you.
All right, our next report is coming from the Finance Organization and Personnel Committee. It is from communication from Mark Rebellard of the Downtown Group asking for community event funded status for a series of small-scale festivals that they are planning during downtown construction. And on the vote of 4-0, the Finance Organization and Personnel Committee recommends that any available unspent funds from the FY26 community events budget be used to help offset the cost of city services for the Keene Downtown Group for 2 small-scale festivals as part of the Dig Into Keene project, with event dates tentatively scheduled for April 4th and June 13th, 2026. Any costs over the above available funds will be the responsibility of the Keene Downtown Group. And further, on a vote of 4-0, the Finance Organization and Personnel Committee recommends that the City Council suspend Resolution R 2020-12-19, the council policy on funding for community events, to allow the city manager to include funding in the proposed FY27 community events budget for the Keene Downtown Group to conduct up to 4 small-scale festivals as part of the Dig Into Keene project, with event dates tentatively scheduled for July 25th, September 12th, October 1, and November 27th, 2026, for consideration by the council during budget deliberations, said funding not to exceed the $10,000 threshold.
So you can see that there are several motions in this one item, and I'll call on Counselor Powers to ably lead us through those.
Oh, boy. Thank you, Your Honor. I move to carry out the intent of the committee report on item number 1.
Second?
Seconded by Counselor Lake and Counselor Powers.
So, Mark Rebellard in the Downtown Group was with us for about 3/4 of an hour the other night, and we covered a lot of territory. And it's pretty neat stuff coming up this summer in the downtown area, and then needs some financing. And there's been a little bit of work done behind the scenes to bring to us a program so that we'd be able to utilize some of the funds that will be in the unappropriated balance at the end of the fiscal year, which is coming up pretty fast. So they're addressing the first part in that motion. They'd like funds set aside in the first part for 2 of the programs they've got planned for downtown. Very worthwhile project throughout the whole project. Neat way to get the funding available to us without getting into the regular budget, and we'll have to deal with the rest of it in our second motion. Thank you.
Counselor Chalice.
I expressed my thanks at that FOP meeting, but once again, I really would like to say thank you to the Downtown Group for this wonderful idea of these small-scale festivals, finding ways to bring people together in a playful manner, doing our best to acknowledge what our circumstances are. I just can't speak highly enough for their efforts.
Great. Counselor Haas.
Thank you, Your Honor. I may have to ask to be recused from this vote as I sit on the board of the Downtown Group. Then I have another question after that passes.
Don't know that you'll have that opportunity to ask that.
Well, let me stand up again. Can I speak as an information source and advocate if I am recused from the vote?
No.
Okay.
Any,
You want a motion?
I don't know that we need a motion. Yeah, just, is there any objection to allowing your recusal? Thank you. You might want to step away from the table, or if we have this, yes, that's sufficient enough. Okay, thank you. All right, so what we're acting, just to be clear, we're acting on just those couple of festivals that would require the use of fiscal '26 surplus funds. Okay? Okay, all those in favor of that motion? That motion carries 14-0. Thank you. Counselor Powers for a second motion.
All right, so for the second motion, I would move to suspend the council policy relating to funding for community events.
Second.
Thank
As
you.
seconded by Counselor Lake.
All right. So the reason we're doing this is we have a policy on how we fund public events. And you have to have put on these various events, no matter what they are, for several years, proven that it's worthwhile and it can be carried out in a reasonable fashion before we put our funds against it. And our funding, for the most part, usually covers city services, what we have to do to provide security, fire services, traffic, block off the downtown area, et cetera, et cetera. Because this has come forward without 2 prior years of events like this, we have that ability in our programs to suspend this rule and support what I hope all of you think is a great event. So, that's our first part of this motion, is to suspend the rules so we can address the rest of it, and we'll go forward from there.
Counselor Ellis.
Excuse me, I think I need to be recused from this one as I'm the chair of the committee. That is,
Not this one.
Not this one? Okay.
It's the next one.
okay,
But thank you for, you're right, you will need to.
trying to be scrupulous.
But you can vote on this one, I think. You have in front of you what that 2012 resolution set in place relative to having conducted festivals in prior years or prior instances. So that's what's in front of us now, is to suspend that resolution so that we can consider the 2027 request. Okay? All those in favor of, no, we need a roll
Suspending
call
takes a
vote.
roll call.
I know. Roll call vote, and it takes 2/3 to pass.
Counselor Filio.
Yes.
Counselor Chalice.
Yes.
Counselor Workman.
Yes.
Counselor Lake.
Yes.
Counselor Favelis.
Yes.
Counselor Tobin.
Yes.
Counselor Williams.
Yes.
Counselor Jones.
Yes.
Counselor Roberts.
Yes.
Counselor Chadbourne.
Yes.
Counselor Ruddle Miller.
Yes.
Counselor Ellis.
Yes.
Counselor Powers.
Yes.
Counselor Greenwald.
Okay, we've got a unanimous vote. Recognize Counselor Powers for the next motion.
Thank you, Your Honor. So this is the entire motion. I move to allow the city manager to include funding in the proposed FY27 community events budget for the Keene Downtown Group to conduct up to 4 small-scale festivals as part of the Dig Into Keene project, with event dates tentatively scheduled for July 24th, September 12th, October 1st, and November 27th. For consideration by the city council during the budget deliberations. Said funding not to exceed $10,000
Second.
as a threshold.
Seconded by Counselor Lake. Counselor Powers?
So it's a continuation of the little discussion we had previously. This is, the rest of the program for the summer, for downtown businesses, for everybody in the community, for people who are visiting the community during that period of time. Different kind of things that will attract your attention, keep you busy for a little while, and help the businesses downtown to stay open later in the afternoon. whatever it may be, but it will present more people in the downtown area during a tough time. And it's actually pretty neat because I think it's running into November, so we're kind of spreading this out and scheduling it out to keep people downtown. And I'm sure it won't snow in November. Unanimously approved by the Finance Committee, and I'm pretty sure everybody here will approve it. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, since having suspended the rules and gotten the motion on the floor, any questions there are? The manager will include this then in her fiscal '27 budget, should this be approved.
You need to do a show of hands vote to approve, though.
Yep.
Yes.
All those in favor? Motion carries unanimously, 14-0. Okay, let's do this again. Counselor Ellis,
Yes, this time I would like to be recused, please.
yes, and your reason for recusing?
I'm the chair of the Monadnock 250 Volunteer Committee.
Thank you. Any objections to Counselor Ellis recusing herself from this vote? Okay.
Okay. So I'll read the
So
report for you.
recused.
So this is a Finance, Organization, and Personnel Committee report that was submitted by Mark Rebellard. It's a request for community event funded status for the Keene 250th Independence Day celebration. And on a vote of 4-0, the Finance, Organization, and Personnel Committee recommends that the City Council suspend Resolution R 2020-12-19, the council policy on funding for community events, to allow the city manager to include in the proposed FY27 community events budget for the Keene Downtown Group to conduct the Keene 250th Independence Celebration on July 4, 2026, for consideration by the council during budget deliberations. Said funding not to exceed the $10,000 threshold.
Before proceeding, Counselor Haas, I think this is a proposal from the same group.
Your Honor, thank you. It's a proposal from the 250th Committee?
No, it's from the Keene Downtown Group as the licensee.
So we'll roll it that way. All right, I'm in the box.
Any objection to Counselor Haas recusing himself from this vote? No. Okay, all right. We need Counselor Powers to introduce a motion.
Thank you, Your Honor. I move to suspend Resolution 2012-19 to consider extending community event funding status to the proposed event scheduled for FY27, the parade.
Second.
Seconded by Counselor Lake. Motion to suspend is on the floor, and this will take a roll call vote.
Counselor Filio.
Yes.
Counselor Chalice.
Yes.
Counselor Workman.
Yes.
Counselor Lake.
Yes.
Counselor Favelis.
Yes.
Counselor Tobin.
Yes.
Counselor Williams.
Yes.
Counselor Jones.
Yes.
Counselor Roberts.
Yes.
Counselor Chadbourne.
Yes.
Counselor Ruddle Miller.
Yes.
Counselor Powers.
Yes.
Counselor Greenwald.
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously, 13-0. We recognize Counselor Powers for a motion.
Thank you, Your Honor. Move to carry out the intent of the committee report.
Second.
Recognize Counselor Powers for the committee.
Thank you, Your Honor. So this action would allow the city manager to include the funding for this project in the FY budget coming up. A lot of work been done already. There's still a lot of work to be done, but it's fairly evident that this will be a great event. Everybody loves a parade, even if it does make a traffic mess. But it gives everybody an opportunity to come out on that day, see their neighbors, their friends. Other communities are gonna come, and it should do good for the downtown businesses. And there's no reason for us not to fund this. And I'm sure that they'll be able to keep it under the threshold, and they did indicate that if it goes above, they're gonna have to figure out how to raise that money. So I recommend that we unanimously pass this. Thank you.
Thank you. Counselor Chalice.
Once again, I'd just like to say how impressed I was to hear the extent of the organization of the event, of the details involved, and of the many parties that are coming together. It's amazing the amount of work that's going into this. I'm very excited to see it come about. Thank you.
It's amazing the amount of work that's going into this. Agreed.
There's an echo in the room.
Yeah. And also, that the Keene Downtown Group has provided an umbrella to allow for this to occur with so many other community groups joining in. It's a real credit to the group. Okay, motion's on the floor. All those in favor? Motion carries unanimously, 13-0. Okay, I'd like to invite our other counselors to join us. And recognize the clerk to read item D4.
And this is a Finance, Organization, and Personnel Committee report relative to the allocation of casino revenue donation to the FY 27 CIP. And on a vote of 4-0, the Finance, Organization, and Personnel Committee recommends that the City Council approve the allocation of the Revo Casino donation in the amount of $13,788.35 to the FY 27 Police Department CIP for the Exicom purchase.
Okay, Counselor Powers for a motion.
Thank you, Your Honor. Move to carry out the intent of the committee report.
Second.
Seconded by Counselor Lake. Counselor Powers.
I think it was about 2 years ago, there was an explosion of casinos throughout the state because a number of statutes were changed. And we have one here now in the city. And a few years after the first set of regulations were changed, they put in a provision that communities could reap some benefit from these businesses because they're obvious to bring on needs for services in the community. So we were lining up for the same principle that they were using for us to be part of it. However, in order to make it proper according to each of the statutes there, the city council had to vote to approve that we do this. And the manager was allowed to sign the commitment, and the date was picked, and it raised $13,788. It would be this community's share towards whatever city services are generated by the business. With that, you have to park it somewhere, or you have to apply it towards a project or another particular program you might have. So through staff and looking at the budget and the CIP, it was determined that the best place for it this year is to put it towards the replacement of the bulk recorder in the police department. It's a system that has a pretty short lifespan because it's going 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So it's a $40,000 to $50,000 project, and this would cut $13,000 out of that, out of our tax dollars. So Finance Committee voted unanimously to carry out this report. I hope you do the same. Thank you.
And Counselor Greenaway.
Thank you, Your Honor. I hate to ruin the unanimous evening. However, as I said when this came up the last time, I don't think it's appropriate that the city should be expending money or receiving money from an organization that is still coming to the city, going through the planning board process and inspections process and whatnot otherwise. It's a conflict of interest, so I'm going to vote against it. I'm all for the city getting money from any source other than taxpayers, but I just don't think that it's appropriate. So I'm sure it's going to pass, so I'm done. Thank you.
Counselor Williams.
Well, I don't want Mitch to be alone, and I don't like casinos, so you got another vote.
I love casinos.
Counselor Favelis.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I was hoping this maybe wouldn't turn into a rehashing of the merits of the agreement like we had already discussed last time. I will say that this question came up around the conflict of interest piece. This is a state statute that authorizes this, and it's not that we're going kind of hat in hand to the casino and saying, please, please, give us $13,000 for this project. The requirement is that if there are dates available, then those dates have to be held in case the host community wants to enter into this sort of agreement. So I will be voting to take $13,000 off of what would otherwise be a property tax-funded project, and I hope that the majority of my colleagues will do the same. Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor. Counselor Haas?
Thank you, Your Honor. As I understand, we've already agreed to accept this money. This vote is just to say where it goes. So voting against this is not going to change anything. We're still accepting the money. It's just not directed to anything in particular. But I too agree with the stated opinions that it's inappropriate for us to be accepting money from a business that we may be regulating. It's not like it's a tax that's general for everybody. If it was a tax, it'd be different. But this is a specific fee where we're taking it from the casino based on their success. And when they come and they say, you want the money, you gotta help us do certain things, that would make me very uncomfortable. So I'll be voting yes to support FOP, but I hope in the future we can re-examine this somehow.
Okay. We've heard pros and cons. All good? And all those in favor of accepting the sorry, another hand?
I just did
Thank
want to
you.
get a clarification question based on what Counselor Haas just said, is that our vote tonight is just on the money going towards that.
It is allocating the dollars for a purpose.
Got it. Okay,
That's
thank you.
correct. Okay. All those in favor of the motion as presented? I see 12 hands. All those opposed? Yeah, 3. Okay, very good. Moving on to item D5.
And this is a Finance, Organization, and Personnel Committee report relative to the execution of a change order for construction engineering services with Greenman Peterson, Inc. for Island Street 2026 reconstruction. And on a vote of 4-0, the Finance, Organization, and Personnel Committee recommends that the city manager be authorized to do all things necessary to negotiate and execute a change order for construction engineering services with Greenman Peterson, Inc. for 2026 construction as part of the Island Street Corridor Improvements Project.
Counselor Powers for a motion.
Thank you, Your Honor. Move to carry out the intent of the committee report.
Second.
Seconded by Counselor Lake. Counselor Powers.
Thank you, Your Honor. This has to do with the Island Street project. There's still some work to be done. The contract, or the time work plan was extended because towards the end of the season this year, we had some bad weather that affected what was going on. We also had some of the other utilities that were working in the area to improve that along with our work, and they ran into some issues that extended their time. So essentially, it was negotiated with the contractor to extend the period, and there's certain amounts of work that needed to be done at certain timeframes. However, we need to have our engineer watching over and managing the project, which means their contract needs to be changed. And Greenman Peterson is doing quite a bit of work for us. We've been very satisfied, and this was easy to put together. And now the manager, when we approve this, the manager will be authorized to negotiate the cost. And because it most likely exceeds what she has the authority under our programs to just have the change order, we have to approve it. And the funds are in the project. This is not new money being raised to do the project. So I recommend that we pass this. Thank you.
Any questions for this item? Seeing none, all those in favor? And the motion carries unanimously. On to our last committee report.
And this is a Finance, Organization, and Personnel Committee report, and it relates to a request from Counselor Workman to review and update the 2029 Interagency Memorandum of Understanding involving law enforcement partners, and this is an informational report.
And this report will be filed as informational. And Counselor,
Thank you, Your Honor. I just want to take a moment and extend my deep thanks and appreciation to the FOP committee, to Attorney Palmera, and especially our chief for having that discussion. I think it was important for the public. It was the only pathway that the public had to express those concerns. So I'm hoping that the chief's explanation and the full discussion helped to clarify a lot of things and hope reduce some of those concerns. So I do appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor Workman. Okay, report is accepted as informational. I'd like to recognize our Deputy City Manager, Rebecca Landry, filling in tonight for our City Manager.
Thank you. Just something very briefly tonight, one item, and that is that to follow up on the questions and interest in the downtown project bidding process, the bids will be advertised on March 17th. This includes allowing time for both the city and New Hampshire DES time to review the recent project changes. So that will be advertised on March 17th, and the bids will be due on April 16th, and then we will hopefully start the project soon thereafter.
Okay. All right, thank you for that update.
State's gotta get involved.
We'll move on to reports, and we have a item that's not on did not go through the committees, but is being presented by the city for our consideration. I need to ask Councilor Powers to lead us through this item.
Thank you, Your Honor. This item is a little bit pressing for time, so I'm going to start by asking us to suspend the rules to take it up. Will I make a motion to suspend the rules of order?
Second.
Seconded by Councilor Filio. And Councilor Powers, anything more on this? Then,
We got to vote.
yes,
It's
you
just,
can, you can be seated. Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll do the roll call and suspend the rules. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Counselor Filio.
Yes.
Counselor Chalice.
Yes.
Counselor Workman. Counselor Lake.
Yes.
Counselor Favelis.
Yes.
Counselor Tobin.
Yes.
Counselor Williams.
Yes.
Counselor
Yes.
Jones. Counselor Roberts.
Yes.
Counselor Chadbourne.
Yes.
Counselor Haas.
Yes.
Counselor Ruddle Miller.
Yes.
Counselor Ellis.
Yes.
Counselor Powers.
Yes.
Counselor Greenwald.
And we now can take up the motion. And Councilor Powers,
Would you like me to read the
Oh,
report?
sure.
Okay. So.
Let's not keep everyone in
Yeah,
suspense.
so just so everyone knows what we are discussing, this is a memorandum from the Assistant Public Works Director and Operations Manager. And this is a request to reallocate unspent funds for the grit chamber duct insulation repair project.
Okay, Councilor Powers.
Thank you, Your Honor. So we have an opportunity here to work parallel with a project that's going on with the same contractor and with funding that's available within our budget to deal with it. So should you wish to really get into the nitty-gritty of this, you have, I worked all afternoon on it. We have pictures to show you what's going on. You know, a little bit ago, one of our projects that we talked about at FOP and this evening was the work that's going on down there now. There's a contractor set up, he's doing work, and while he was there, it became obvious to him that the part of the ductwork needed to be cleaned in a fashion that you just can't stand there and scrub it. And this scaffold's all set up, equipment's all set up, he's there, and for a reasonable price, this can get done, but we don't have it in this particular project. So the motion is to move some money, unspent funds, no new money, and also it's in the water sewer fund, so it's not tax dollars. So move unspent funds from the wastewater treatment plant, air compressor replacement, and the wastewater treatment plant laboratory renovation projects, both complete. There's a small amount of money there, just enough to help with this particular project. It's a We don't like to bring things last minute, but it's an opportunity we should not pass up because the job will be done and we won't be going through this gyration for another bid, another contractor, et cetera. So recommend that we pass this. Thank you.
Counselor Lake?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I believe we just need a motion on that.
Second. You made a motion. I was waiting for somebody to second it. Made a motion about 15 minutes ago.
So Counselor Lake has made a motion to approve as
Counselor Powers
presented.
did.
When I read,
He made the motion.
Counselor Powers made the motion.
He did, about 15 minutes ago.
I wasn't that long.
Ahead of his speech.
And Counselor Lake, you seconded it?
I did.
Counselor Filio seconded. Okay, there we are. We've
Simple
got a
enough.
motion and a second. Any comments, or questions from people? I think this is kind of self-evident here. Okay. We need a 2/3 majority on this and a roll call.
That is on the actual.
On the suspension of the rules.
That's right, and
All we
we've
need
done
is,
that.
all we need is a show of
That's right,
hands. Thank you
that's
very
right.
much. All those in favor of the motion as presented? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. All right, let's keep moving. We move on to ordinances for the second reading. We have none for the first reading this evening, so we can move on to the second.
Sure, so our first item is a planning licenses and development committee report, and it relates to the update of Chapter 18, Property and Housing Standards Code, Ordinance O 2025-36B, and on a vote of 5-0, the Planning Licenses and Development Committee recommends adoption of the ordinance, and we have accompanying our memorandum the ordinance itself, Ordinance O 2025-36B, an ordinance relating to update of Chapter 18, Property and Housing Standards Code.
And recognize Counselor Filio
Yeah.
for the motion.
Recommend passage of ordinance O 2025-36B. Second.
Seconded by Counselor Jones and
And
Counselor
as
Filio
City
for the
Clerk
committee.
just mentioned, this was actually referred back to us in the previous PLD committee. It's an update to Chapter 18 of the City Code regarding code enforcement, property maintenance, basically rewording of emergency contact for renters. Former Councilor Bosley, who was the chair at the time, after this ordinance got passed, brought it back for some minor changes to it. That's exactly what this is, the minor changes. Passed 5-0, and we hope the council will pass it also. Thank you.
Okay. Any comments or questions from folks on this item? Okay, seeing none, would the clerk please call the roll?
Counselor Filio.
Yes.
Counselor Chalice.
Yes.
Counselor Workman.
Yes.
Counselor Lake.
Yes.
Counselor Favelis.
Yes.
Counselor Tobin.
Yes.
Counselor Williams.
Yes.
Counselor Jones.
Yes.
Counselor Roberts.
Yes.
Counselor Chadbourne.
Yes.
Counselor Haas.
Yes.
Counselor Ruddle Miller.
Yes.
Counselor Ellis.
Yes.
Counselor Powers.
Yes.
Counselor Greenwald.
Motion carries unanimously. Move on to item J2.
And this is a Planning Licenses and Development Committee report, and it relates to application procedures for zoning applications and the definition of primary residence, Ordinance O 2025-39. And on a vote of 5-0, the Planning Licenses and Development Committee recommends adoption of the ordinance with an effective date of March 13th, 2026. And we have before us O 2025-39, an ordinance relating to application procedures for zoning applications and the definition of primary residence.
Recognize Counselor Filio for the motion.
Move recommended passage of ordinance O 2025-39.
Second.
Seconded by Counselor Jones. Counselor Filio.
Once again, this is basically a housekeeping for an ordinance. As the city clerk mentioned, it's definition of a primary entrance and procedures for zoning applications. Basically, is up to date us and get us into a concurrence with state law. So we voted 5-0 to pass this, and hope full council will also. Thank you.
And that motion includes the effective date of March 13th, correct?
Okay.
Yes,
So
thank
noted.
you.
And to allow adequate time for departments to develop the
Their
application
plans, yes,
procedures.
exactly.
Counselor Jones?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I believe when the title was read, it said primary residence. It should be primary entrance.
Primary entrance, I'm sorry, thank
Yep.
you.
Primary entrance.
Did we? Good. So
Good
noted.
catch.
Okay, motion's on the floor. Seeing no further questions, would the clerk please call the roll?
Counselor Filio.
Yes.
Counselor Chalice.
Yes.
Counselor Workman.
Yes.
Counselor Lake.
Yes.
Counselor Favelis.
Yes.
Counselor Tobin.
Yes.
Counselor Williams.
Yes.
Counselor Jones.
Yes.
Counselor Roberts.
Yes.
Counselor Chadbourne.
Yes.
Counselor Haas.
Yes.
Counselor Ruddle Miller.
Yes.
Counselor Ellis.
Yes.
Counselor Powers.
Yes.
Counselor Greenwald.
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously. Item J3.
And this is a Planning Licenses and Development Committee report, and this is related to Ordinance O 2026-01 relating to fines for nuisance, menace, and vicious dogs. And on a vote of 5-0, the Planning Licenses and Development Committee recommends adoption of the ordinance. And we have before us this evening Ordinance O 2026-01, an ordinance relating to fines for nuisance, menace, and vicious dog offenses.
Recognize Counselor Filio for the motion.
Sure. Move for adoption of ordinance O 2026-01.
Second.
Seconded by Counselor Jones.
Thank-
and
this is,
Counselor Filio for the committee.
Thank you. Keene Police Captain Mike Kopcha basically explained the details of the fine schedule. We know we've been talking about vicious dogs for a while. Thank you, Councilor Williams. And now we're getting updated with the fine schedule. There were several questions, but basically what we're doing, we're getting concurrent, once again, with state law. And if you don't like it, don't worry about it. It'll probably change in a couple of weeks. But the city attorney went along with this, that the wording was appropriate. Committee voted 5-0 to approve the motion or the ordinance. Hope you will also. Thank you.
Any questions from the committee? Counselor Williams, any final thoughts as this finally reaches this point?
It's just interesting to me that all the dog things come through PLD.
It's great. And as noted during your committee hearing, there are reasons for the legislature to come back and take a look at this, but for the time being, this is what
Yep.
state law provides, and this is what is before us.
Yep.
Okay. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Counselor Filio.
Yes.
Counselor Chalice.
Yes.
Counselor Workman.
Yes.
Counselor Lake.
Yes.
Counselor Favelis.
Yes.
Counselor Tobin.
Yes.
Counselor Williams.
Yes.
Counselor Jones.
Yes.
Counselor Roberts.
Yes.
Counselor Chadbourne.
Yes.
Counselor Haas.
Yes.
Counselor Ruddle Miller.
Yes.
Counselor Ellis.
Yes.
Counselor Powers.
Yes.
Counselor Greenwald.
Yes.
The motion carries unanimously, and I want to thank Counselor Williams and State Representative, help me. Huh?
Jody Noel.
Newell, Jody Newell. Ad-libbing. Nonetheless, those are two people that saw this from the beginning to the end, and appreciate your work on this.
Great. So we are
Motion
moving on to
carried.
resolutions.
We are on to resolutions.
So our first resolution is a Finance Organization and Personnel Committee report relating to Resolution R 2026-05. And on a vote of 4-0, the Finance Organization and Personnel Committee recommends the adoption of the resolution. And we have before us for adoption, Resolution R 2026-05, a resolution appropriation that appropriates planned funds for engineering services for the Robin Hood Park Improvements Project.
I recognize Counselor Powers for a motion.
Thank you, Your Honor. I move to adopt Resolution 2026-05.
Second.
Seconded by Counselor Lake and Counselor Powers.
Thank you, Your Honor. This involves a very important project for the city. We have a pretty good plan on repairs at the pool, and the pool's a priority of the projects. There's a number of projects up there that need to be taken care of, but the pool is, it's a priority. It has some serious business. And we'd like to be in a position to be able to move forward on it when the season ends and before the next season starts. So by dipping into next year's funds, which is July 1st, we can get going with all the design and the work that needs to be put together so we go to bid and be ready for the construction season to work on the pool, finish it up before the next season, and then we can move on to the second phase. The funds are available. This is not new money. It's a forward thinking on this particular plan. I recommend that we do such. The FOP was unanimous in their vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor. Any questions on this item, Counselor Williams?
Just being on the east side, you know, I hear a lot from my constituents, you gotta save the pool, you gotta save the pool. So I'm very glad that we're saving the pool.
And as it's noted, there are grant funds that are associated with this that push the timeline in order to make good use of those. And okay, we'll need a roll call on this item.
Counselor Filion.
Yes.
Counselor Chalice.
Yes.
Counselor Workman.
Yes.
Counselor Lake.
Yes.
Counselor Favelis.
Yes.
Counselor Tobin.
Yes.
Counselor Williams.
Yes.
Counselor Jones.
Yes.
Counselor Roberts.
Yes.
Counselor Chadbourne.
Yes.
Counselor Haas.
Yes.
Counselor Ruddle Miller.
Yes.
Counselor Ellis.
Yes.
Counselor Powers.
Yes.
Counselor Greenwald.
Yep.
Motion carries unanimously, and we will move to the next resolution.
And this is a Finance Organization and Personnel Committee report relating to Resolution R 2026-06. And on a vote of 4-0, the Finance Organization and Personnel Committee recommends adoption of the resolution. And we have before us Resolution R 2026-06, a resolution for the appropriation of funds for recycling equipment replacement.
Counselor Powers for a motion.
Thank you, Your Honor. I move for the adoption of Resolution 2026-06.
Second.
Seconded by Counselor Lake. Counselor Powers for the committee.
Thank you, Your Honor. This is in the Solid Waste Fund. This is no new dollars. It's a movement of funding. This project has been in the plan for quite some time, and was designed, went out to bid, and unfortunately, as our times are, it's more than in the particular line item for this project. So to move forward and get it done, we're asking that $47,000 be transferred from the fund balance, solid waste fund balance. Again, it's not tax dollars. It's not part of the regular revenue process. Again, it's a good position to be in, that we have a little bit of a revenue amount there available for these projects, and it's pretty much a priority to get this done, because the equipment is there. This is 30 years. 30 years ago, we started doing our solid waste in this fashion, and I think that's a credit to Public Works team, is to make it work 30 years. Nice job. Thank you.
Motion's on the floor. Any questions? Seeing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Filion.
Yes.
Counselor Chalice.
Yes.
Counselor Workman.
Yes.
Counselor Lake.
Yes.
Counselor Favelis.
Yes.
Counselor Tobin.
Yes.
Counselor Williams.
Yes.
Counselor Jones.
Yes.
Counselor Roberts.
Yes.
Counselor Chadbourne.
Yes.
Counselor Haas.
Yes.
Counselor Ruddle Miller.
Yes.
Counselor Ellis.
Yes.
Counselor Powers.
Yes.
Counselor Greenwald.
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously. And we have one last item to read into the record.
Yes, and this is a memorandum from our city assessor, and this relates to Resolution R 2026-07, and the request is that this be referred to committee.
And you'll recall our last council meeting, this came up, asking for a ordinance to be prepared. We have that draft ordinance now in front of us. As such, I'll refer this to the next Finance Organization and Personnel Committee for their review. That being the last item on our agenda, we could drag this out for 5 more minutes and get to, but we don't need to. We are hereby adjourned.
All right.
No non-public.